Hello, I'm Jane Goodall, and first I want to thank you for inviting me to say a few words at this side event, highlighting the critically important work of the global initiative to end wildlife crime. The Jane Goodall Institute, JGI, is proud to be one of the first international champions of end wildlife crime, which we joined in 2020. And I'm so thrilled to see that the number of organizations working on this important initiative has now grown to over 40. And these 40 come from across the conservation, finance, tourism, and technology sectors. And now even the orchestral community has joined its champions. We at the JGI fully endorse End Wildlife Crime's statement of purpose, including the adoption of a One Health approach to protect human and animal health, and the creation of an additional protocol under the UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime to prevent and combat wildlife trafficking. As you all know, wildlife trafficking is one of the largest forms of transnational organized crime, alongside the trafficking of people, drugs, and arms. And wildlife trafficking is valued at a massive $1 to $2 trillion a year. Wildlife trafficking has a devastating impact on the welfare of animals. Injuries and often fatalities are common when animals are captured and sent around the world. And those who survive typically face a lifetime of ongoing health issues, and that includes mental issues too. And remember, each animal is a sentient individual and should not be thought of as just a statistic. Many species of animals are trafficked for zoos, entertainment, or as pets, including infant chimpanzees and other apes. And there's a demand also for reptiles, fish, and some species of insects, along with plants, especially orchids, for collectors. This is pushing some species towards extinction. A recent CITES report found that over 80% of illegally traded animals are made up of 5 genera of reptiles. This is far the greatest group of animals traded out of Australia. And we must remember that wild animals may infect domestic animals and also humans with new diseases. Trafficked plants may escape and become invasive in a new environment, and that's true for some animals too. Of course, in addition to the trafficking of live animals, there's the trafficking of body parts, such as elephant ivory, rhinoceros horn, pangolin scales, and a whole variety of animals for bushmeat and medicine. The capture and trafficking of wild animals and plants is, as I've said, driving some species towards extinction, and it's having a devastating effect on ecosystems. I see an ecosystem as a beautiful living tapestry of interdependent species, and every time a species becomes extinct in that ecosystem, it's as though a thread is pulled from the tapestry. If enough threads are pulled, the tapestry will hang in tatters and the ecosystem will collapse. There will be a loss of biodiversity, which goes hand in hand with climate change. Just as every species has a role to play in the tapestry of life, each of you in the room today can make a difference to help end the terrible crime of wildlife trafficking. If you aren't sure where to start, John Scanlon and the dynamic team at End Wildlife Crime can provide information and technical assistance. I extend my thanks to everyone who spoke today, to the Australian Federal and New South Wales state governments for supporting this important global summit, and a special thanks to Taronga for hosting today's event. Indeed, Taronga has worked hand in hand with JGI since I first visited Australia way back in 1997. No person on their own, no organization on its own, and no country on its own can effectively stop the scourge of wildlife trafficking because it knows no borders. It can only be stamped out through our collective efforts and enhanced collaboration across borders. If we fail, more and more species will be lost and entire ecosystems will collapse. And if this happens, all future generations of humans will be deprived of so much of the wonder and awe that we today can experience when we spend time in nature. Good luck to all of you, and let's work together on behalf of animals and the natural world and our own future. Thank you.